Sorry, you'll have to excuse my voice here. I have a little bit of the walking pneumonia. I just went to the doctor this morning. I learned something real interesting about pneumonia. Why can't you hear somebody who has pneumonia going to the bathroom? Well, because the P is silent. At Katz-Moses Tools, we do a lot of manufacturing. And through this door you see behind me on this forklift, we bring in plywood, MDF, acrylic, urethane for the dovetail jigs, aluminum for the stop blocks. And we make a lot of the things we sell at kmtools.com right here in this warehouse. My team was having a tough time with the setup we had, and the Sawhorses just weren't working for us. So I wanted to create something that solved a lot of problems. We have made these adjustable Sawhorses. We're lovingly calling them Saw Stallions. They have these roller systems that are really, really cool. Everything is indexed by pins and really easy to put together, and it takes one person just a matter of seconds to change things out. We've got plans available over at kmtools.com. We use a ton of tools from our website. We got a ton of new stuff if you haven't been there recently. And as always, this channel is unsponsored and unbiased because we do make all our money through kmtools.com. So if you find some value from this video, go pick up the plans or check out some of the great tools we use in this video. I'll talk about them a little bit more in the outro. But right now, let's go ahead and get started by breaking down some parts. So now it's time to cut some angles and start putting together the base of our Sawhorse. So we're gonna put together our top plate, which has 2 mortises for the adjustable portion that we just use shorter pieces of 2x4 because that creates the perfect spacing. But we need to create these angles for the legs, and there's a 70-degree angle and a 20-degree angle, complementary angles, 2 angles that add up to 90 degrees. Now there's a few ways to do this that works really well. The way that I'm going to attack it is I'm going to do the 70-degree angle upright. So I have this jig that rides on my table saw fence. We're gonna tilt the blade to 20 degrees. Now this is great because once you cut this angle, you can then flip it around for the bottom part of the leg, the 20 degrees, and use something like a crosscut slider or a miter gauge. Now I'm gonna get this angle by using one of these digital magnetic angle finders. They're really great. We have these over on kmtools.com. I'll link that down in the description and the pinned comment. Now, one thing that's really important when you set the angle of a table saw blade, we are also going to have to do these upper and lower gusset angles. That's gonna require a different angle of attack. So if we record the angle that we use for our blade with something like a bevel gauge, we can then transfer that to something like our miter gauge, or if you ever built the Katz-Moses multi-sled, we have free plans over on our website. That's another one that you could actually do that with. It comes out really good. So a lot of ways to attack different angles. There's a way to do this on the miter saw. There's a great video by Tamar Hanna at 3x3 Custom. I'll also link down in the pinned comment that teaches you how to do it on the miter saw. A lot of different ways to do it. The thing about when you're cutting those real steep angles like this 70-degree cut, you want to be real careful and make sure you're doing it in a way that is repeatable and safe. So we're going to go ahead, center angle, start cutting some angles on all the legs as well as the gussets. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start putting together the bottom portion of the Sawhorses. Now, there's a few strategies you're gonna wanna use here to make sure you don't have screws running into each other. We've done the whole screw layout for you. In addition, the top plate that it has the risers where the hitch pins go through, there's gonna be a way, kind of an order of operations I'm gonna show you right now, actually. If you wanna come into the bench here. So you see here in the plans, we have all the screw hole locations laid out so that you don't run into each other when you're drilling from each side. So what I'm gonna do is do this in a couple steps. So first, I'm gonna clamp these together. I'm gonna drill all these holes all the way through. I'm not gonna countersink until the end. There's these 1/2-inch center holes for the hitch pins. And so if you drilled all these holes with them clamped together and then drilled the center pins, they're not gonna line up. So you wanna drill all the holes for the screws and then take your back piece, flip it 180 degrees. So now the holes that you drilled through right here are now up here. clamp them together again, and then drill our center holes. That's going to ensure those line up perfectly as long as you flush them up when you're screwing them in. Now, I had a happy little accident. You saw on the table saw that it left a little ledge here, and that's going to really make this very easy for alignment because it just butts up against it. It's going to be real square right there. So if you can, when you're cutting these, if you do it on the table saw, not the miter saw, try and leave a little ledge just like that. If not, I'm sure, you can line them up with the top. It's not that hard. We're gonna have these pieces where the rollers mount to, and there's two different types of rollers, as I said in the intro. You don't have to build both. We're gonna build both just to show you, but we're gonna go ahead and get this whole assembly put together, and then I'll check back in with you. This is like the nicest sawhorse ever made. And it doesn't rock. And I just had on my table saw, which is the flattest thing probably in my whole warehouse. And it like is solid as can be, which is always great when you're making something out of rough lumber, right? All right, so we're gonna start doing our adjustable arms here. Now you're gonna wanna check your fit because there's some half lap joints in this. You wanna make sure it fits before you start cutting joinery, because once you cut your joinery and then you're trying to take some off to get it, to fit. So I'm gonna just give this a kiss through the planer just so it kind of goes in and out easy, because right now it's real tight, which makes sense because it's 2x4s in there, so another 2x4 is not gonna fit well. So we're gonna take a little bit off of that. You could probably just sand it and wax it. I don't know, whatever you want to do. We're gonna drill our holes, we're gonna do our joinery, and then we're gonna have our main body done. And once that's done, we're gonna move on to our accessory pieces, which are real cool. So let's cut some half laps. Let's take a little bit off these and get a bunch of holes drilled in these. All right, so we have our adjustable work support done. It looks really good. There's a bunch of holes that need to be pretty accurate in this project, especially for the hitch pins. You can see there's a little bit of play back and forth here, which is intentional, so you have room, but that would really affect where your hitch pin holes go. So what I'm gonna do is center it, clamp it down, take a 1/2-inch drill bit, mark out both of these, and then I'll be able to draw sort of a line down the post and get those holes so that they're equally spaced apart and make sure everything's equal. The other holes that are gonna need is we're gonna have these accessory roller pieces. They're gonna have a dado in the bottom and attach with some 1/2-inch dowels into some holes. And then when they're not in use, they're gonna sit right here in some 1/2-inch holes. You'll see those holes in the plans, but it's not something I wanted to drill in advance. I wanted to wait until I had these done. So, if there's any margin of error, I can adjust for that and measure exactly where those holes could go. So let's get some holes put in the posts. Let's get some accessory pieces built and see what this thing can do. These came out amazing. I'm really excited to start using them. Everything is really easy to adjust. Just one person can do it, and everything goes together really well. I totally screwed up, and I drilled all of these holes 1/2 inch. They should have been 5/8, and so I had to really come up with a creative solution to re-drill those and get them bigger. Other than that, everything came together really, really well. Starting today, guys, we are carrying Rubio Monocoat. We're their, I think, only US online dealer other than themselves, which is really, really exciting. Lots of other great tools. This chamfer plane and router plane was really fun to use on this build. Center punch and this marking gauge were crucial in getting all those holes and half lap joints. Those are over at kmtools.com. I'll list everything we use down in the pinned comment and description. Guys, thanks for watching. Go pick up those plans. As always, stay safe in the shop. Have a wonderful day.